Hello, MCU fans. Today will be a short and sweet breakdown of I Am Groot's Season 2 trailer. Short and sweet, just like Baby Groot himself. So, I wasn't even sure, honestly, if I was going to do a breakdown, but, as I looked into it, there are some interesting things to talk about. So, let's dive right in and see what we can find out. All right, so one interesting thing is, prior to Guardians 3 being loaded on the Disney Plus timeline, I Am Groot's 5 episodes from Season 1 were broken out individually on the timeline. So, in fact, in between Guardians 1 and 2, you had Groot's first steps, the first episode, and then afterwards, the next 4 episodes, and of course, Avengers Age of Ultron. It seems that at the same time they loaded Guardians 3, much later in the timeline, they also updated this portion of the timeline. And now I Am Groot is only one entry wedged between Guardians 1 and 2. And so, presumably, we're not going to get a second entry for I Am Groot when Season 2 comes out. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. But I know there's been some discussion about why is the entry in between Guardians 1 and 2 when only one of the episode takes place there. Well, that's kind of the problem. When something overlaps something else, so in this case, I Am Groot's 5 episodes overlap Guardians Volume 2, there really is no correct placement. I mean, if you put it before, well, there's some that happen after. But if you put it after, well, there's some that happened before. So in a way, breaking it out into the 5 episodes was the right solution. But after a while, the timeline just gets obnoxious when every single episode is listed. So I don't really have a problem with this, but let me know what you think. Should it have been placed after Guardians Volume 2? I kind of like it being placed where it starts versus where the majority of it happens. But now the real question is, will we get 2 entries for I Am Groot when it shows up on the timeline? I think no. Likewise, I think when Loki and What If show up, because Loki will be out in October. Oh boy, can't wait. It's going to be awesome. And then What If, who knows, maybe the end of this year, maybe the beginning of next year. Both of those, similar to I Am Groot, are going to immediately follow the previous season. So my guess is we don't get 2 entries, i.e. one for each season. But let me know what you think. I think where it will get interesting is when series like Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, She-Hulk, when those get a second season, then they may have to break the seasons up. So maybe they'll do that. Maybe they will create an entry for each season. I'd kind of like it if they did, to be honest. But we'll see. Let me know what you think. It's just the fun little things like this that keep me awake at night. All right. So as I mentioned, the reason episode 1 of season 1 has to be where it is you have basically Guardians 1, where he dies, and then a new Groot, which, as James Gunn has said, is a new Groot. It's not the same Groot regrowing. It's basically a new Groot, which is wild. But he breaks then out of his little flower pot in episode 1, then he shows up in Guardians 2, and then finally the rest of the episodes, I'm assuming also for season 2, happen after Guardians 2. And then, of course, Groot's life has been pretty well documented, right? We've seen him in, there's little baby Groot in Guardians 2. We've seen him then in Infinity War as teenage Groot. Thor Love and Thunder still as teenage Groot, which I know that's irritated some folks because it is kind of weird. Then we see him in the holiday special, Guardians 3, and finally the Giga Chad at the end of Guardians 3. So, yeah. Lots about Groot. So it's kind of cool that with Guardians 3, we saw the, current Groot, the oldest Groot. And now with I Am Groot Season 2, we're going back again to cute little baby Groot. We're getting both ends of the spectrum. Love it. All right, so I think it's interesting that I Am Groot is actually the first Season 2 for any Disney Plus show. How is that possible? I mean, I love it. Don't get me wrong. I'm so glad it's coming out. But how are we getting second season of this before What If, before Loki, etc. Some people have said it's not really a season 2, but notice under the episodes, it does say season 1, so I think it's going to be a season 2. I did hear somebody else, though, make the point of technically Legends did get a season 2. I don't know that I really count that as a show, but that's true. That is the first Marvel show to get a season 2. But anyway, very interesting. I just would never have guessed that it would be I Am Groot that would get season 2 first. Now, keep in mind, in season 1, we learned that basically the Guardians got a hold of the Benatar very soon after Guardians 2. I mean, we didn't see it show up until Infinity War when they're flying around in it. But we learned from I Am Groot season 1, they had it very quickly. So that's why in season 2, we're also going to be seeing the Benatar. But we may also see the Ravager's ship, because remember in season 1 we saw that too. So they may be going back and forth. It kind of seemed like they were living on the Ravager's ship, but they were using, of course, the Benatar to fly around. So very interesting. I suspect we will see much of the same in season 2. But of course, what's got all the discussion is the Watcher showing up. Holy mackerel. What on earth? How did he draw the short straw that he has to go watch what I Am Groot is doing? Not an exciting assignment, I'm going to be real honest. Or will it be more exciting than we thought? Now, I've also heard some people say, oh, cool, this is going to be the first live-action appearance of the Watcher. And now there's the big debate. Is I Am Groot live action? I don't know. I mean, it doesn't feel live action to me, but on the other hand, keep in mind, Groot is 100% CGI, and so is the Watcher. So when Groot appears in Guardians of Volume 1, 2, and 3, he's 100% CGI. He's the same as he is in this. So is it live action or is it not? Let me know what you think in the comments. But I guess my opinion is no, I don't consider it live action. But you could argue with the CGI character, does it really matter? Very interesting. But anyway, what on earth will the Watcher be doing? I don't know, but I wonder if there will be indications that, yes, this is the same Watcher from What If. My understanding is Jeffrey Wright is going to be voicing him. So yeah, this has got to be Uatu, the same one. But remember, this is much earlier in the timeline than the What If series. I mean, we're talking 2014, and it's not until Loki, yeets out of there in Endgame and creates the multiverse in the Loki series. So we're talking a good, 9 years, 9 years later before that happens. Of course, again, you're talking about stuff at the end of time. So how does that really work, right? I don't know. Something inside of time directly affected something outside of time. Go figure. I don't know. Anyway, I'm betting it is going to be the same Watcher, but I'm wondering, what we'll learn from him. What was he doing way prior to the multiverse being created in Loki? Also, will we see any mention of the Watchers that we saw at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2? Keep in mind, this appearance by not Uatu, some other Watchers apparently, this is going to be literally like a month before probably the I Am Groot episodes, maybe 2 months. So yeah, remember in Guardians 2 when they were flying across everywhere and you end up seeing 3 actually Watchers, and of course Stan Lee making his awesome appearance, canonizing that he is the same character across all the Marvel movies and basically as a Watcher. Love it. In fact, remember they leave him there in the end credit scene. Wouldn't that be epic if somehow I Am Groot rescues him? Because we've always wondered, how did he get off that planet? But yeah, it's just fascinating that we have a Watcher in What If, and then we have these 3 Watchers here. I don't know. I would love for them to tie some lore together and explain this. Probably I'm asking too much, right? He's probably just going to show up, say hi, and bolt. We'll see. Anyway, let me know what you think. How's this all going to go down? Okay, then some other little fun things in the trailer. The ice cream truck is a nice little reference. I'm sure all the kids watching this will want ice cream right after this episode. But it's kind of funny. If you look real close, there's seemingly a Howard the Duck themed ice cream cone. I don't know if I would really want to eat that. It might bite me in the process. But it's kind of funny, remember, because Howard the Duck has shown up in just about every Guardians, maybe every Guardians movie, now that I think about it. So, yeah, very, very good. Of course, he should appear in I Am Groot. And then one other interesting thing to mention is it sure looks like Groot is playing with a Nova Corps toy because, that's basically the same outfit, right? Pretty close. So at first it's kind of morbid to think, wait, they're all dead. What are you doing? Why are you playing with that toy? But again, in the timeline, they're not dead yet. They got killed during Infinity War when Thanos came to get the Power Stone, but they're all alive now. Okay. You really got to wrap your brain around the fact that this is happening in 2014. So interesting. Plus, I hope this is one more hint that we are indeed finally going to get the Nova appearing. Please, Marvel, give us Nova. That would be awesome. All right, there you go. I promised a short and sweet review, and this was very short and sweet. So, last thing I'll mention is I love how they keep changing the Disney Plus image. And in this case, the little I Am Groot thing, his arm goes across, turns the plus into little leaves, and boom, you get the regular Disney Plus. It's little things you almost wouldn't notice if you're not paying attention, but I love those little details. And also, don't forget, we do have a contest, and this video counts. It may be short, but it counts. All you have to do is be a subscriber, leave a comment anytime during the month of August, and at the beginning of September, I'll announce our winner. And you can pick from one of these 3 books. And then don't forget, we do have a Discord server. Here we are talking about I Am Groot and where it takes place in the timeline. So I will leave a pinned comment, and you can join if you'd like. Also, like this video, subscribe if you haven't already. You can check out more content, and we'll all continue to enjoy the ever-growing, ever-changing, ever-cute Marvel Cinematic Universe.